Welcome to my very first Todoist tutorial. This is my very first tutorial, probably my second or third attempt at screen capturing, so pardon me as I stumble through this, but I hope you enjoy this episode of Todoist, and if you do, please like and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, here we go. Okay, so let's start with the basic overview of Todoist. Here you see that I have Todoist opened up here in Safari web browser. Now they also make a app for your phone or Android device, as well as for a app for Mac and app or program, as you may call it, for Windows. So here is just the Safari version of it. It's all basically looks the same depending on which device you use. All the window products pretty much look the same as this, and then of course when you have an iPhone or what have you, it's in a little bit more condensed format. Now here you will see I have a few boxes, and this is generally speaking what when you first go into sign up for Todoist. This is basically after you answer a few things, this is basic setup of what the Todoist program looks like. Okay, now it will ask you to set up a couple tasks just to kind of get you accustomed to the whole process, and that's what I did here when I was going through the setup of Todoist when I signed up here. Now, of course, this is not my real Todoist account. I have opened up a Todoist demo account in order to give you a full tutorial and be able to pretty much play around with this without actually altering my real data. So now, once you open this up, in your you have an inbox here, which everything that you do as far as posting things into Todoist, it's like a tongue twister, ain't it? Anyways, you'll basically want to maybe hit this plus sign here, which will open up another dialog box and enable you to add a new task. Like for instance, if I wanted to say, go for a run today at 6 p.m. or actually what time is it now? 6:40 p.m. So I say at 9 p.m. So I go and I put that in there like this. So like I say, basically the inbox is where everything that you're thinking of in your head that you want to get out of there will go into your inbox. Now, of course, there are other ways, and I'll show you that later on, of where you can actually enter the task that you have directly into a project folder. But for right now, we're just going to talk about the inbox and why it's very useful to dump everything out of your head in order to be able to, I think I find a little bit more peace, pretty much. It's a lot less stressful when I can get everything out of my head and just dump it into Todoist and then decide later on what I'm going to do with that information. So. But anyways, that's basically what the inbox is for you just to dump any ideas that you have. Hey, I want to go for a run, or let's say I want to buy groceries at 10 p.m., let's say. Whatever it is that you want to do, you just dump it right in there. It's pretty easy to use, pretty simple, as you can tell. It's a very simple design. Not only can you do all this stuff, but if you notice when I was adding a task, like I can also add a task like this, basically right there at that bottom where I just clicked on add task, I can say read Bible every night at midnight, or whatever it is you want. Or let's say maybe you say every night at let's say 10 p.m. Okay, so when you do that, it sets up reoccurring tasks. So you see you can do all kinds of different things, and it has what is called a time or date parsing capability. Whenever you put anything in there, it kind of knows what you want to do. Now, some people don't really want to use it as a time or based to-do app. Some people just put their to-dos in there, and they'll do it whenever they feel like it during the day. And they'll use their calendar for anything that's event driven or a time-based event. But in any case, you can use it both ways, however you want to use it. Now, there are a few things here at the top. Of course, you have the Todoist logo. You have the quick find, where you can quickly find, if you know basically what you're looking for in your notes or in your to-dos here, you can actually type it in there, and you can pretty much come up with your to-do wherever it may lie in any of these projects over here. And then, of course, you have that quick add task right there, which you can also type Q to open up it on your to-do app. And then, of course, you have this alarm bell here, and that's just basically saying, hey, welcome. It gives you kind of any kind of notifications that you might need. This here is Karma. Karma is, to be honest with you, it kind of makes me feel great that I'm at 10,000 Karma points, but what it does for me is absolutely nothing. Just gives me a good feeling knowing that I'm somewhat on task for when I'm completing tasks. So maybe it's a motivator for some. Over here, of course, you have the settings tab where you can sync. If you didn't sync it, of course, Todoist does sync quite often. So, but maybe you've put something in your iPhone and you want to run over to your computer real quick and check it, and you might want to hit sync there to do that. You can also click here to open up Todoist.com, and it'll just open up the same version of what you are already looking at, just in a browser window. And then, of course, you have settings here. View activity log. You got the Todoist Premium and Todoist Business if you want to sign up for those. And that brings into mind also, when you sign up for Todoist, you get the free version of Todoist. You don't have to pay for it. However, as with anything, there's limitations to free versions of any software, because after all, companies are in the business of making money. But anyways, so you also have support here if you need to have a problem with your support. Now, I'll tell you, I've used support for a lot of products in my life, and I've never found them very useful. But with Todoist, I will have to, tip my hat to them that they actually will solve problems pretty quickly. In fact, I might have been a little short with them because I thought they would probably be like everybody else, but no, they're pretty good. So if you ever have a problem with the program or whatever, just give those folks a email, and they will resolve that issue. Also, there's a blog here for the Todoist blog, and a keyboard shortcuts in case you want to know what shortcuts are. And then, of course, it tells you what it's also available on all of those different devices here. Okay, so there you have it, Todoist in a nutshell. Now, of course, you also, I guess I better not forget the side projects here, but you have, after your inbox, you have today. So when you click on this, it's just going to show you things just specific for today. And then you have the next 7 days, which will show you the next 7 days of what is going on, basically, and what you've put in there. The only thing I don't like about the next 7 days is if you get done with a reoccurring task, maybe you have a reoccurring task daily, it doesn't show in your tomorrow's task, even though it's a reoccurring task, and it should be, and if it's daily, it should show for tomorrow, but it doesn't do that. It waits until you've completed it from this day in order for it to show up there onto the next day. I do not know why. Probably never will. But in any case, over here you have projects, labels, and filters. Now, of course, like I was mentioning earlier, if you want the free version of this program, you will just be able to do the projects here. But labels will be disabled. You won't be able to use labels. That's only for premium or business users. So there you go. There you have it. Filters. I do believe that even with the free version, you do have access to filters. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, filters without labels is kind of pointless. But I mean, I guess you could kind of use it to filter some stuff in your projects. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Now, of course, the premium version is only $29 a year. I think you might be able to afford that, especially if you want to get your productivity kicked off in the right direction. Now, here under projects, you have different folders. Now, these are just the generic folders that it just automatically comes up with. You can create your own. If you notice, each one of these have colors beside them. Now, of course, you got personal, shopping, work, errands, movies, and such. Each one of these can actually be edited, the project. You can also archive the project or whatever it is you want to do with this little tab here. Also, like I say, all these are projects. So anything that you put in your project, you can kind of separate in case you kind of want to know, hey, you know, maybe there's something, maybe there's a movie I want to watch, and I add a task there and I say, hey, I want to watch Valerian, 1,000 Planets, that's coming out this Friday, which is already out because it is Friday. Friday at, let's see, time was it 6:49, 9 p.m. So maybe you put that in your little movies to watch. Maybe you thought about that and say, hey, I want to watch that movie. And maybe it's sometime in the future, you know. Obviously, you're like, well, Jerry, if you can't remember in 2 hours, you got more problems than just Todoist. Well, you know, maybe you put that down because you want to watch that, and you've just saw that. Maybe you saw a trailer on TV, and you're like, oh man, I want to watch that when it comes out. So you can do it in the future or what have you. This is the cool thing with Todoist. So now, of course, you know, like for instance, when I put it here in this, you also will notice that it's also in my today view because I put it in for today. It's not in my inbox because my inbox is only for stuff I'm dumping into the inbox that I plan on taking out of the inbox and into one of the project folders that I have set up. Now, I always suggest that instead of having billions of things in your inbox, you should, and I say should, and I mean should, like 100% of the time, empty your inbox into one of your project folders. Okay? Now, you can add a new project by clicking here. And let's say I wanted to put hobbies. Maybe I want to create a project about hobbies. Well, you can do that as well. You go ahead and put hobbies in there, and then you, of course, you click here and you pick a color that you want. Blase, blase, and you add hobbies, okay? So now you've done that, and you're like, woohoo, yay! Well, what if these were the folders that you like, but hobbies really you think should be maybe a sub-project under another project? Well, looky there. You can put them in what is called a child project. More on this later. I just wanted to show you that little quick tidbit. Also, archive projects, you can look here for any projects that you are finally done with. You've completed that project, but you don't want to necessarily lose the information in case you ever have to come back to it later. So you might want to archive the project. You can also delete a project. But I always suggest, unless it was a mistake that you put it here and you just never did use it, I would always probably use archive. And so there you have it, folks. Todoist in a nutshell. If you have any questions or want to know a little bit more, please leave me a comment. I'll answer them as soon as I can. Also, if you like this video, please click on the like button. Also, if you like this channel and you want to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel as well. My name is Jerry Colbert, and thank you for watching.